Hello everyone and welcome to another standard video. So today we're going to be looking at Rakdos Oni Anvil deck that we have theory crafted 2 videos ago. So I suspect that this deck will do pretty well considering the fact that it has already been a deck before. But we did get some new cards, so there's some grounds to cover. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the deck to see what the deck is about. So this is the Anvil deck that we're going to be playing today. I deviated a little bit compared to what I had before during the deck building video that I had of the Rakdos Anvil deck, and I'll get to that later. And with the new rotation, I do believe Anvil deck has become probably one of the stronger decks out there in current standard. A lot of cards rotated out, and on top of that, we have received some pretty awesome cards to the deck. So starting off, in the 1 mana slot, we have a card called Cut Down. Now, Cut Down isn't, the most exciting card, but with Cut Down and Voltage Surge in the deck just has such an easy time removing early game creatures. And some of the important cards that Cut Down can actually kill are something like Proto Cathar or even Rafine before it connives. And whatever the Cut Down can't destroy, we do have Voltage Surge to deal 4 damage to kill off cards with 3 or 4 toughness. So that is why that is there. But I think what actually makes the deck pop has to be this new card here from Dominaria United called Braids Arisen Nightmare. This is a 3-mana 3/3 legendary creature where at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, lands, or planeswalker. So pretty much any permanent. And if you sacrifice those permanent, each opponent has to choose whether or not they want to sacrifice a permanent of the shared type you just sacrificed, or they let it go, and in which case you're going to be able to draw a card and they lose 2 life. But what's really great about Braids in this deck is because of the synergy with Oni Cult Anvil. So if you play Oni Cult Anvil, then Braids has to sacrifice something. Then all you have to do is sacrifice an artifact that you have. Then what's going to happen is Oni Cult Anvil is going to replace the artifact with another artifact creature. Then the opponent has to sacrifice an artifact or a creature. And if they don't want to, they lose 2 life and you gain a new card. And you didn't even lose anything because if you sacrifice an artifact, Oni Cult Anvil just replaces the artifact. And this card actually does surprising amount of damage because if you sacrifice a blood token, for instance, then chances are opponent doesn't have an artifact and you can forcefully deal 2 damage to your opponent's life total. So along with the 2 life loss from this card, and on top of that you do have the Mihawk Massacre, and from the Oni Cult Anvil dealing 1 damage every single turn, the residual damage this deck does, it just builds up, and a lot of times your opponent just can't keep up with it. And the final card that we're going to be looking at is Liliana of the Veil. So I was kind of hesitant to put this into the deck, but I was like, why not? Because what I think is going to end up happening is I play the Liliana and I have some removal spells in my hand and I can't +1, so I have to skip a turn with Liliana. Or if I plus and then I have to forcibly discard one of my lands and then I draw a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, then I play the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, then I don't have cards to discard to the Fable of the Mirror Breaker's 2nd chapter. So although Liliana of the Veil is a great card, don't get me wrong, I think she becomes a lot better if you're playing in a format with things like Thought Seizes and stuff. So you play the Thought Seize on turn 1, you take the card, and then you safely deploy Liliana, and then you plus, and then they have to make some pretty bad choices since they're left with bad cards anyways. So I think in that regard, Liliana becomes really good, but I'm not 100% sure about Liliana yet. But however, the Liliana of the Veil happens to be a great card against Graveyard Trespasser, and then Graveyard Trespasser is a pretty good standard card. And there's also some Reanimator decks that reanimate one of the big creatures, and then Liliana can snipe one of those creatures by making it sacrifice themselves. So for that reason, I'm trying out just 2 copies here to see how it goes. And other than that, You might be wondering, like, why is there a Florian? So this is an old card, but I probably should explain it because it's not the most obvious interaction in this deck. And that has to do with Oni Cult Anvil and Mihawk Massacre. if you only called Anvil activate before post-combat, then Florian lets you look at top card of your deck and then put it into the exile pile for you to play that turn. So Florian is basically another Braids in our deck to kind of get us more card advantage. But since Braids is a legendary, we also have Florian in the same deck, so... But that is all I have to say about the deck. And we're going to be jumping into some standard best of 1 rank to see how the deck does. And if you guys enjoyed the video so far, leave a like, comment below, and let's hop on over. Wait, what? Why do I have my timer going? Oh no. If I just drew Volder and Epicure on turn 1, that would have been so sick. If I play Experimental Synthesizer, okay. Oh, let's try. Gas. Gas. I was afraid if we get like a 3 mana card and we can't play it, that would have been awful. Here's the Wombo combo. Braids. Let's go. We don't need to sacrifice anything because we got Braids. Nice. That is gas. Braids is gas. Oh no. Okay. Well, we have a backup plan, Florian. So let's crack this. Deal 1 damage. Then we play Florian. Florian trigger goes off. Knee Hook Massacre. Okay. I do think we just play Knee Hook Massacre though, right? That's just too good. The value is too good. And this means that whatever cards that they get rid of now, it deals 1 damage to them. Liliana, not so great when we have a bunch of creatures. We're drawing a lot of lands. Like, a lot. So this can crew, huh? So we can't really attack. Another Oni called Anvil. Great. Okay, opponent's dying. And we'll talk Enuma for something. Ooh, okay. That's a card that we have to deal with. That is a card that we have to deal with.
I'm tired of your secrets.
See if we can get a Liliana of our own, maybe. There it is. Although we could get Braids as well. We're just gonna sacrifice their tenacious underdog. Yeah, let's get Braids. Okay, I made a mistake. I should have probably done this beforehand. Okay, it worked out. Never punished. Should maybe just deal more damage with the Oni Cult Anvil. I mean, I guess I can just do it on their turn. Wombo combo. Soren.
Out of my way. I have a way to start.
So can we win next turn?
You won't be outsmarting me.
So we deal 1 damage. We deal 2 damage actually here. They go to 6. Oh yeah, they're most likely dead. 100%. Okay, this is sick. I didn't even have to attack. I didn't even have to attack. We're dealing so much damage, like... And then Braids also sacrifice the construct at the end of the turn to deal 2 more damage too. Like, we had so much damage. Okay, I mean, we don't have 1-drops, but it's still a pretty decent hand. Can't leave a Voltage Surge on turn 1 is... could be game losing. Oh, we'll see, we'll see. Opponent? Okay, they just mulligan. Definitely not the worst hand. Red. Oh, mono red. I mean, literally, I just talked about leaving a Voltage Surge that could be game losing, and literally, probably the only matchup where leaving having a 1-mana removal spell on turn 1 matters the most. Talk about luck. Whoa, what is that? 2-mana 1/3, whenever you cast instance or sorcery, it gets +2. That could deal a lot of damage. But we do have Voltage Surge that can deal with the Festival Crasher, so... I think the play is actually just pass. We could also just Meathook Massacre here for 0 to start like gaining life back. So I think I'm actually just gonna do that and leave a Voltage Surge. I know it's pretty obvious that I have some removal spell, but I highly doubt that we can't kill Festival Crasher, right? There's just no way. So we take the L and just keep getting chipped down by the Phoenix chick. We don't really care about that. And then we sacrifice the artifact and kill the Festival Crasher. Since Festival Crasher doesn't really gain toughness, it can only gain +2 attack. No freaking way, I just got... What? That is not a card. That is not a card that you should be playing in a constructed deck. But I mean, look at their rank. They're actually climbing with that deck. They're actually killing some people. But I mean, I got no choice, right? Let's just play Liliana and then just sacrifice. I mean,
Nobody knows Dominaria. Sacrifices must be made.
yeah, like they're just gonna sacrifice a Phoenix, but what am I supposed to do? In case they don't have a removal spell like we see now, so we actually made the correct choice. So that was actually another thing that we could have done is hold up the Takenuma and then chump block the 1/3 in case they have another something like Antagonize and then just rip me to oblivion, but I don't think... Maybe they just don't have anything. Like, what's funny is it's giving them priority, right? Like, it's giving them priority, so they must have something. I suspect, like, is there like something that gives double strike? Is there something that gives double strike? They could like antagonize and then give it double strike. That would deal a lot of damage. But I mean, this should be it, right? Even if they do have like combat tricks, like looks like their deck is mostly like, it feels more like a like a Boros prowess deck in Explorer, for instance. Like, not too many creatures and just a lot of like spells that pump. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what we get. Let's just take cut down to like established dominance. We don't even need it. We don't even need extra cards at this point. And I'm sure opponent's gonna surrender here. Anytime now. There it is. Okay. Okay. Ooh, finally we get a Voldaren Epicure and the Oni Cult Anvil start. That's what I'm talking about. And we have double Anvil? Oh my god. This hand looks absolutely on fire. Only thing that's really lacking in this hand is we don't have any removal spells. But you know, could be bad. I do really like this new board though, like, very nice. Now, I don't know what this symbol means in the middle. Tranquil Cove. We don't even have to take additional damage. Is there a 2 mana? Is there a 2-mana counter spell? Well, I guess we don't really have to worry about it then. Another Anvil? Perhaps? Okay, so it is a counter spell deck. Okay. Hello, can I... Okay. It wouldn't let me click on the only called Anvil for some reason. That is so sad. That is so sad. Always deal damage. Just constantly dealing damage. I will constantly deal damage. Fable Absence? Sure. Okay. Sacrifice the blood token. And the turn. My turn. Okay. Our plan is to win the game before Rest in Peace comes down. I have missed lethal now that I've realized that we are right. Yeah. If I sacrificed the clue last turn, I would have been able to deal 2 damage this turn, so... Okay. It didn't matter, but if they did have, not Rest in Peace, excuse me, Farewell, yeah. If they did have Farewell, then I would have been in big trouble. Yeah, just keep giving me this hand and we'll be able to win every single game. Wow, just crazy. Let's see. We don't even have to take damage now. Okay. That's... it just looks so funny, like, lightning strike on a 1/1. I mean... Okay. If it's neither day or night, nor night, it becomes day. As it enters the battlefield, whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Okay. I think I will experimental synthesizer first. Land. Fantastic. Okay. I think I am down to... okay, yeah. Let's just sacrifice the synthesizer. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Okay, it was only a Volder and Epicure. I mean, the Lightning Strike on my 1-1 construct actually made it happen. That's really nice. But let's... Huh. I mean, obviously, if I play a land and Voltage Surge, I can get in there for a little bit more damage, but this way... I can keep up Voltage Surge. Okay, that works out. Okay, so I actually made a misplay there. I shouldn't have played a land in case I get a land with the Florian to play the land. Obviously, it looks like they have some kind of a combat trick here. They could also have a Gonjo, so if I block this, even though it has first strike, they can kill it. Attack with Florian. Synthesizer. Okay. Okay. This deck seems unbeatable. Wow. Okay. Okay, so although we didn't play for too long, I can already see that this deck is pretty amazing. At least in the current meta. We are playing 23 lands, but you could play less, perhaps like 22 lands, but we do have Fable of the Mirror Breaker being able to ditch one of these lands, so that's great. Also, from what I've seen some people playing the new land, Transportal, and I think this card is a bait. This land just deals so much damage because this land can't even tap for a colorless mana, and especially I've even seen some people playing Transportal in a Rakdos shell just because they don't want to play basics for some reason, and they played Transportal, and then they play a 1 mana card, they take 1 damage. And then the next turn, they play another Transportal, put it on black, and then they play Bloodtide Harvester. They take 2 damage. So I think Transportal is a trap. The funny thing is this card also incentivizes you to play it early, as soon as possible, because it comes untapped. But if you do, you start taking so much damage because you cannot tap for colorless mana. I mean, although we don't have much dual lands in standard at the moment, I think this is a... I mean, you've seen my games. Like, I never had mana issues. So far, I like my mana base. I mean, it's pretty simple. You play the 2 dual lands that you have. You add Sokenzen and Takanuma and fill it up with Swamp and Mountain. And it works. So we did play 5 games, but I can only show you 4 games, but I promise you I did play 5 games, as you can see here. But unfortunately, one of the games got cut out. I wasn't recording for some reason, but it was against a mono red deck, and mono red deck, I happened to draw my 2 of Mihawk Massacres, and I was able to win from there. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Mihawk Massacre. I do think this is the next card that maybe Wizard of the Coast should look at. The card is just too powerful in current standard. As for the other cards, Cut Down is amazing. Voltage Surge is amazing. Braids and Florian. These cards have been just so amazing. Maybe it's because I haven't been drawing Fable of the Mirror Breaker as much, but I've been just drawing Braids and Florian. It's just been giving me so much card advantage. So I love that. I've drawn a Liliana in one game, I believe, and it was okay. It was alright. I can definitely see cutting the Liliana for something else. The thing about Liliana is that the card becomes better the more discard spells you play. So you take away the option and then you play Liliana and then you plus, and it just makes the choices that they have to discard worse and worse. So, but in a deck like in a shell like this, it's just a removal spell at that point. It's a 3-mana removal spell. Sometimes you might be able to get 2 cards with the Liliana. You -2 first, and then you plus, and then you -2 again. So for that purpose, there's only 2 of it, but definitely Liliana of the Veil could be something else. But if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.